We're one episode away, and wouldn't you know it, we got one last job. One more job before he retires.
Every episode is like the setup for just a movie about like the end of a franchise. Just one last job. Just one like Fast and Furious. Hey, we just got one last job.
Mando reminds me of the Lethal Weapon franchise in that it's always the last time until the next movie.
Like Murtaugh's always about to retire. It's
Yeah.
always the last day until the next last day, and I love it.
So this episode picks up immediately after last episode. They immediately pick up Bill Burr, who's Miggs Mayfield. I had forgotten his name, but how could you forget a name like Miggs?
Honestly, I forgot his name. To me, he's just Bill Burr. So
Yeah, I mean,
Bill Burr
that's
just
all he does.
trekking through the galaxy.
It's just Bill Burr in Star Wars, and that's
Yeah,
what's
oh,
funny
yeah.
about it. So they take him, and they're like, "Hey, you got to do this job for us, and then we'll put you back in prison." Mando and his crew have to go to another planet, and they have to get the codes to Moff Gideon's location
Mhm.
at this remote, secret mining location. Oh, the only people that can go in with Bill Burr is Mando, because he's the only one that would not be recognized by the Imperial AI.
The IBS,
Yeah.
as they call it.
Miggs and Mando, they hijack a truck that's carrying like whatever they're mining. I can't remember. It's like radionium or something like that.
Something explosive.
So they start having like these. Well, they don't. Bill Burr starts having these philosophical stand-up routine in the car, which is like a very true statement. Is like indigenous people don't know who the bad or good guys are, because they're all
Yes.
bad guys to them, because they're coming in, encroaching their land, taking stuff that they have and have had for many years. But yeah, so Bill Burr makes a very good, interesting point, and he's a bad guy, and so he used to work in the Empire, and it's like it's that whole gray area that JD loves so much about, like, not everyone. I mean, the Empire is bad. They are bad. People in the Empire then are not necessarily bad, and
Yeah.
Bill Burr is like one of them. He's just doing stuff to get by, and he's a former soldier. And so they talk about that, and then all of a sudden, some pirates come in and start destroying the trucks.
This is kind of our episode of, from the beginning, Mando's been pretty gung-ho about this is the way, but now it's more like, this is the way, question mark? And, I mean, he's still got, like, stormtrooper armor on and, like, a helmet, and that's what Bill Burr brings up. He's like, can you not, like, show your face, or can you not take off the helmet? What is it? And so we get this, like, he really gets pushed. This is kind of that first step in this episode of, oh, man, like, he's going to have to do something, so...
Yeah.
It's good. But yeah, but he doesn't have his like Beskar armor. So when he starts fighting these pirates, he's like taking some punches.
I know.
He almost forgets that he doesn't have it on. It's so good.
The Empire saves them. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're the only truck to come in."
I mean, you know what I don't like, and I just want to get this out of the way. I don't know if I've never seen a stormtrooper salute, and I don't like it. It's just they bring it. It's weird, but that's it. Okay.
And Bill Burr's like, "Oh, there's the machine we need to use, but also there's my former commander in there, and I don't want him to see me." And so then Mando's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And then Bill Burr's, but wait, there's more. You got to get your face scanned. And Mando's like, "I'll do it, okay?" And so he gets in there, gets his face scanned. They get the coordinates to Moff Gideon's ship, and then the commander comes over, and it's like ominous, and you're like, oh, he's going to be like, a whole brouhaha is going to happen. But no, he just wants to have some drinks for the only truck that made it in. And then Bill Burr, being from New England, he's got to passive aggressively bring up something from years ago, which is, he's right. He's in the right, because this commander is talking about he has no remorse for all the soldiers that he let die.
Yeah.
And Bill Burr is one of the soldiers that survived.
And his friends, yeah.
Yeah, and his friends died. And so to see someone so callous about death, it triggers Bill Burr, and he's like, I can't take it, and he he kills him. He shoots him. He shot first.
At that moment, I was like, oh, Bill Burr's not making it through this episode.
No, for sure. I thought he was going to die, for sure. But he makes it. They make it out because it's Mando.
Yep.
And they get it, and they go back to Boba Fett's ship, and he had the coolest bomb. I don't even know what that was.
It's like a kind of a throwback to Attack of the Clones. There's a scene, I think it's when he's chasing Obi-Wan and through the meteor field or whatever. He looks awesome now. I mean, he got like a paint job on that armor, and it looks sick.
Yeah, they're doing some side missions they're not telling us about. Like,
where'd you get that armor upgrade, bro?
Get back to the ship, and they're like, well, we think Bill Burr actually died. And he's like, well, wait a second, I'm alive. What are you talking about? But he gets the hint after a while. It's like they're letting him escape. He did his good deed. And then we cut to Moff Gideon on his ship, and one of his Goonies is like, hey, we got a message, and it's Mando being evil. I've never seen a good guy look so evil.
Oh, and when did he record this message?
But yeah, so he's basically like, I'm coming. I'm going to get the kid. You don't know how much the kid means to me.
Yeah.
And it cuts to Moff Gideon, and he looks scared, like terrified.
You take my kid. I'm going to take this Mandalorian mask off and do whatever I can to get it back. And it's just, we were getting to that moment when you're like, he's kind of pushing things. This kid means more than like this creed, which is kind of like in question anyway. So he's like, whatever, I'll do it, and to do it in front of Bill Burr, a dude that he clearly hates, it's like, it just adds to it. And it's so good.
It's they're saying a lot of things about like what you grew up as learning. Sometimes you have to question the things that you grew up learning and thought were like the way. Sometimes the way is not the way. Yeah. The way is entirely different from the way.
As you know, as this channel knows, I love The Last Jedi. I love almost everything Rian Johnson set up. And he sets up that cool idea with Luke and with Finn. It's like, hey, man, like, good guys are bad guys too, depending on how you look at it. And I like that instead of just throwing it away like another movie did, that like Jon Favreau is kind of like, well, I really like that, and I'm going to keep that going. Like Dave Filoni was like, I'm going to keep that going. This idea that, yeah, there are no good guys in this situation. You can tell yourself, I'm fighting for good, and still be in the wrong side of it. So I like that we're able to keep that going in some other version of Star Wars. So
this whole season has been great, but now I'm ready for the end.
And I didn't know this. Surprise fan, Craig O'Neill and his wife Jane love this show. Wow. So you know what? After the finale, we need to get their takes on it. He loves it. He was telling me the other day, he's like, man, he wanted to end the 6:30 newscast with "This is the way." I feel like bringing Boba Fett back.
I know.
He's our Boba Fett.
Craig O'Neill is Boba Fett. Un esercito di